sit on the floor is because that's where I feel the most comfortable. I am going to tell you a few embarrassing stories. This is like the main story, like why I got on here, but it's probably not long enough to make a full video, so I'll like added a few other doozies. My favorite job that I've ever had was working at the plasma center. So I started out as a phlebotomist and I did the venipuncture where I would like put the needle in your arm. You know, we would draw the blood, the machine would cycle it would go through like, I forgot the words because it's been a really long time. It would go through a centrifuge process and it would separate the plasma and the blood. We would keep the plasma and then we would return the blood into your arm through the same needle. And college students would come in and get paid to do it. Not even just college students, but like if you needed extra cash, like and you were healthy, you could come in and do that. Anyway, so I went through and I was trained, you know, on the back floor, and then I was trained in the front, you know, asking the questions. And then I went and got my EMT and I worked as a physician's assistant where we worked under a physician's license and we would perform physicals on the people that would come through, which was really fun because when Joel got home from his mission, I like did his physical and it just was like, it was just me and him in the room and it was like really kind of fun and I don't know, it was just really fun. Nothing like bad or anything happened, I swear. And can I just tell you, I worked under Dr. Worley and he was one of the most amazing doctors I've ever known. I just loved him like with all my heart. Anyway, so how long did I work there? I worked there for maybe 4 years. So then after I did that, like I got really good at the charting. And so then I moved up to quality, which I basically would just go through all the charts through the day and I would make sure all the charting was correct, kept track of any errors that happened in the center. So that was kind of like my ending job. The place was ran by us youngins and so we kind of helped each other, and the manager, she had me do some of the interviewing process because after working there for so long, I got a really good feel of like who would be good in what position. And so I did the interviews and I went through and told her who I thought we should hire. And so basically I was doing the hiring process. I fired many people as well. So that was kind of interesting. That could be a whole nother story in and of itself, but those ones are kind of scary. So actually I don't think I'm gonna put those on the internet. I went through and I interviewed, let's say 20 people. I interviewed 20 people and as they came in and would leave, like I got a really, like I just was so excited about the people that I wanted to hire. So I had a hire pile. I went through and put 10 people in the hire pile. And then I went through and put all of the people that I just didn't think were quite good enough for the job in a separate pile. It was the end of a long day and I was going to come back the next day and call the people in and let them know that they got the job. So I left for the day. I had like my own office. It was like the best job. Like I just loved that job so much. So anyway, the next morning I come into work and I grabbed the fire pile, or like the do not hire pile. I picked that up thinking it was the hire pile. Took the hire pile and like tossed that to the side. Do all my phone calls, hey, congratulations. And I'm like terrible with names. So like I didn't remember anyone's names. That's why I had their files. Called everyone, they were so excited, probably shocked as they should be. And then the next morning, or like, you know, like the next week, they all show up for training and I just, what could I do? Literally, there was nothing that I could do. All the people that I didn't think were competent for the job, I hired. They showed up for orientation. And in the back of my mind, I knew exactly what happened the second I saw this group of people that I didn't want to hire walking through the door with big old smiles on their face. And I just knew in the back of my mind that all these really great people I rejected. I called them and told them they didn't get the job. And they were probably so confused, like, why didn't I get the job? Like the interview went so well, she liked me so much. I don't think I told anybody. Why would I tell anybody that? Why would I tell anybody that? I think I kept it to myself, I believe. So that is the story of me hiring the wrong group of people. And it was really sad. It just, even to this day, I'm like, how did I do that? Then I had Olivia and stopped working, and then I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I discovered YouTube, and here I am. So I actually have a list here on my phone that has all of my embarrassing moments that I'm gonna go through and pick a few to tell you. But first, we're going to get this out of the way because this is the cutest pop socket you've ever seen in your life, and it's only 15 bucks. And then the phone case goes so well with it. It is only 15 bucks. If you're interested in these cutie little tooties, I'll have them in the description for you guys below. Okay, another story. This one isn't as embarrassing as it is just kind of sad. And that story I just got done telling you is more sad than embarrassing, so maybe they should be like sad stories. One time I pulled in the driveway, Joel and I had been fighting so much, and you know in the like movie scenes when like the person like is in their car and they hit the steering wheel and then they hit the steering wheel again and they like shake their bodies and they're holding onto the steering wheel. Well, that was like what was going on. I was like hitting my steering wheel and I was like bawling and I was screaming, and I think for the first time I like let out just like the ugliest scream you could think of. And as I'm like wiping my tears away, I look over and make eye contact with my neighbor. She was just standing in her yard and I just was like, oh, hey. That was that. Keeping with the job themes, first day of showing up to a salon. So this was my very first salon job. As I was working at the Plasma Center, I was still getting my hair license. And so then I got a job at a salon and I was working both jobs for a minute. I liked the Plasma Center more, so I only worked at a salon for like a year. That was like towards the tail end. Anyway, so I got this job at a salon that I really loved, and I straightened my hair and I got this new, like, because you want your hair to look really good, so I got this new hair oil, and I don't know if it was nerves, I was rushing, I don't know. I put way too much hair oil in my hair, and I straightened it and it looked like it was wet. There was so much grease in my hair, it looked wet. And so I was straightening it and there was nothing, and so I slicked it, and my hair was like really long, and so I slicked it back into a ponytail thinking, oh, just like a side pony and let it like come to the side. I was so embarrassed. It was so disgusting. It looked wet. There was so much oil in my hair. It was freshly washed. That it was just so embarrassing. That was just like not the funniest like story. It was just embarrassing. Okay, last one. When I was in high school or junior high, it was spring break and I really wanted a tan, and so I heard if you put Crisco all over your body, you'll get like a really good tan. Don't do it. Don't do it. I did it, laid out in the sun for like 3 hours on the front, 3 hours on the back. You all know how sensitive I am. Didn't really realize that at this point in my life. Blistered from head to toe. And then when that blistering went away, I shed layers of skin from head to toe. In fact, I went into class and Joel was like, he was doing like, our pants flared, you know? And Joel lifted up my pant leg. I think I was talking about like how white I was or how bad the tan was or something. And he was like, he like lifted up my pant. He lifted up my pant leg and dust was like, I died. I died, and Joel just looked at me with like the most disgust he'd ever seen and just laughed his head off, and I just sat there and felt like an idiot. These aren't funny stories that I'm even telling you. None of these are. These are stories of how dumb I have felt in the past. Frightening. Frightening. That's it for today. If you enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And if you want to watch any other storytime videos, I have a storytime playlist in the description below. So you can check that out if you're interested. Glad we could all share in my humiliation. Have a good day.